Now, I don't need any introduction. You've been hearing my mouth the last couple of days. We're going to talk about GABA. A lot of people have been asking me about the Global African Business Association. We're going to take a deep dive into what this thing called GABA is. What in the world is GABA? We're the Global African Business Association. We started in 2014 in Michigan. We're a business support network whose mission is to link and develop business development through global trade. Basically, we're the ones that you come to if you're seeking to do business in Africa, if Africans want to do business here in the US, we're your go-to folks, okay? We originally started in 2014 as the National African Business Association right there in the state of Michigan. And it kind of caught wildfire through Texas and Maryland and places like that. 2 Nigerians and 2 Gambians helped found GABA. I'll tell you a quick story. I reconnected with an old high school friend of mine. And we were thinking about some ideas, some business ideas. She's actually a realtor. She's my executive vice president. She really wanted to come here and couldn't make it. And she said, hey, let's put together something to empower our community. And what I did was, I said, there's a lot of African Chamber of Commerces and business associations, but I wanted to link it to a city. So I wanted to do some actual municipal development, which kind of separated us a little bit from the rest of the pack. And so she said, hey, I got 2 guys from the Gambia who wants to join in, and we founded this group called GABA. At the time it was NABA. Why did we launch in the first place? Most urban communities where there are large or small African presence don't have any associations to protect them from business discrimination. Anybody ever heard of ICE? You see what's going on, okay? Things like that. Multiple African businesses don't have customer service training or skills. That's very, very true. In fact, we're putting together, this is my senior vice president in Houston. She's been texting me all morning about putting together a customer service training, the first of its kind through our organization in October in Houston. This is a big one, lack of understanding of political lobbying or economic policy development. That's a huge one. That's a big one. And multiple African American businesses do not understand the importance of doing business in Africa. We just heard something from the XMIM Bank and the African XMIM Bank, and we have to do better. 3 components of GABA, just go through this real quick. We focus on STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics when it comes to business and partnerships. We focus on career technical education, or some people call it vocational education. And we focus on community development. Now, here's something interesting about my team. 80% of the membership in GABA are women. You can clap to that. I may be the president and CEO of this group, but 80% is driven by African and African American women, okay? We also have a partnership with a group called the Nigerian American Public Affairs Committee. That's NAPAC USA. That's our kind of our public policy arm. I serve as its vice president for that group. We also assist with helping African immigrants and refugees with business support, credit issues, grant writing, startup capital, things of that nature. We try to help you find money. Master plan implementing the master plan for local municipalities. Let me explain that in 30 seconds. So we're going to talk about Inkster in a few minutes. What we did when we started our organization, in the state of Michigan, there's a law. I don't know how it works in Illinois, but in the state of Michigan, there is a law that every 5 years, a municipality must renew its master plan. And so what we did was we kind of snuck in under the radar in the city of Inkster and put our GABA plan within the master plan. The city council approved it. Half of them didn't even read it. And before you know it, our plan is in the master plan. So that's something that we do. We do mentoring for African business owners and work on various public policy issues here in the US. We also educate people on the importance of visas. I talked about that in the reception. This is very, very important. People come to my office. By the way, I'm an academic advisor at one of the community colleges in Michigan. I get a lot of African people coming in my office talking about trying to get permanent residency. Can you marry my daughter and all this stuff? And I tell them, no, I can't do all that. I can show you something else. I can show you in a different way. I'm not marrying your daughter, your niece, or anybody like that. You know, you'd be surprised at the conversations I get at work, man. But we do talk about things like the EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, EB5 visas. That's employment-based visas. Those are permanent residency visas. We focus heavily on the EB3 and EB5 visas. By the way, that EB5, there was once upon a time when if you try to do an EB5 project in an unemployment area in a particular city in the United States, you needed $500,000. Recently, OMB, that's the Office of Management and Budget, they raised the number from $500,000 to about $900,000. That's crazy. We also educate people on the L1A, L1B visas, O visas, J1, M1. Most people don't even know what the M1 is. That's the same as the F1, except it's on the vocational side. E1, E2 treaty visas, and IP and R1 visas. Now let's talk about this thing called Inkster Michigan, okay? Inkster is a roadmap to building an African community. We're located technically globally in this city. This city is about as big as your hand. It's not Detroit, it's not Grand Rapids or anything like that. We do have a presence again in Houston, Maryland, Mozambique, Nigeria, and Cameroon, but we picked Inkster to launch our economic and community development project. And the reason why we did that is because it's 10 miles west of Detroit. Nobody will bother us. The poverty rate in Inkster, however, is 40%. Okay? There's no economy in the city of Inkster. 25,000 residents. It's the largest African American population outside of Detroit in Wayne County, Michigan. If you look at the poverty rate of the age of 6, it goes up to 60%. Okay? Median age is 37. Only 3 pharmacies exist in the city of Inkster. 1 grocery store, actually it's 2 now, because the other pharmacy closed. 1 grocery store, that's on the north side of the city. 2 fast food franchises, 2 Coney Islands, 1 Italian restaurant, 1 urgent care, no hospitals, no emergency rooms. And it's mostly a residential community. Here's the big one, I underlined that for everyone to see today. No real industries exist in Inkster, and with over 1,000 vacant lots up for grabs, starting at $100. Don't you bombard me asking me about this stuff when I walk out of here. Actually, you can't bombard me. We need all the help we can get. Well, we picked Inkster also because of its proximity to Detroit Metropolitan Airport. That's important. And actually, there are 2 airports that's not too far from Inkster, the Detroit Metropolitan Airport and Willow Run Airport. Now, Willow Run Airport is important. Now, I know you could jump on this, what I'm about to say. Willow Run Airport is not just one of the largest cargo airports in North America. It's where American Center for Mobility is located. That's where they're testing autonomous, I knew you knew this, autonomous vehicles. And so we want to make sure that we're close to things like that when it comes to economic development for our people. And Michigan Avenue. You know, the same Michigan Avenue that's here in Chicago. It connects Detroit, but it goes through Inkster, Michigan. Okay? I've stated that Inkster within 5 to 10 years can become a global hub of commerce between the state of Michigan and various points within sub-Saharan Africa. All right? And with the AGOA, and now we have the African Continental Free Trade Area, these things are in motion. Now it's time for us to act. Even though Inkster is a community-driven residential city, we have a growing African population in the city. There's a lot of Nigerians moving in there. Liberians been there for years. And now we have a growing Senegalese community and Ghanaians. And what happened was, this guy, Hillard Hampton, he used to be the former mayor of Inkster. What happened when he found out that we existed, he said, because he's been to Africa several times, he's been to Ghana, Nigeria, and places like that, so he understood what we were doing, trying to do. He said, let me put you guys on some boards. So what he did was he appointed us to the Inkster Downtown Development Authority, the TIFA and ED's Economic Development Boards. Now, those boards are very important because if you understand what tax increment financing is all about with a local municipality, this is what DDAs, capture taxes, TIFA boards, that's tax increment finance authority boards, economic development corporations. They are able to capture certain taxes and for redevelopment purposes. The only challenge we had with our DDA was that we can't capture taxes because what happened after the crash of 2008, the property values in the city of Inkster plummeted. So what we ended up doing strategically was we set up a 501c3 called the Inkster Economic Development Corporation, and we were trying to move resources through those means. At the time, by the way, I never told anyone really this publicly, but at the time, I never told you this either. At the time, on that DDA board, we had 5 Nigerians on that board. That's never happened anywhere in the United States. I managed to get 5 Nigerians on a DDA board in the United States of America. It's a blessing that I'm still alive after all this time. Now here's me right here. This is guy here. Man, I'm sitting here smiling. I'm smiling for a reason. See that? Elected to the Leanna Higgs Library Board of Inkster in 2015. Now, state of Michigan has been around for 182 years. And only 4 Nigerians have ever been elected in the state of Michigan. I'm the 4th one. I'm talking to you today. I'm the 4th one that's been elected here in the state of Michigan. State of Michigan been around 182 years. You have one person in here talking to you about this. I was elected to the library board. Now, why is that important? Not city council, state rep, Congress, or anything. Why is this library board is a big deal? Here's what happened in 2013 in Inkster, Michigan. They lost its school district. It was dissolved. And the kids were bussed out to other school districts. So I said to myself, I need to join this library board because it's the last educational system. And that's what I did. And what I started doing, I started implementing some programs, financial literacy, stock market classes, okay? Not just for African immigrants or refugees, but the community at large. They need to know this information too. We started implementing certain things, and most importantly, the most important thing right now is that we broke ground on a new library project in Inkster with an estimated budget of $2.2 million. I'm the president of the library board. Now, can you imagine an African man is moving forward with a library project? Never happened in the state of Michigan. Never happened. So we did our groundbreaking last week, and you had dignitaries come out, everybody's saying a few words and things like that. This is a very exciting moment. That library will be finished in February. Okay? That's the render. That's what the library is going to look like. Now, why is that a big deal? Because the original library was 6,000 square feet. This is going to be a 10,000 square foot library. State-of-the-art, digital technology, the whole 9. And I don't brag about this type of stuff. I just like to share with people that it can be done when you have a great team. Oh, here's another one. Inkster Culture Arts District. Now, one of the things GABA did when we first moved into Inkster, sitting on our DDA boards and all these other boards, was to say, you know what? We need to really move real estate into the city of Inkster. The best way to do it is the culture arts. So we started stepping up, moving towards a culture arts district. First thing we did, we put up 2 murals in the city. We put this one up about, where's this, 2019? We put this one up about 2 years ago. This one just went up in the spring. And they're both located in our what they call our central business district. And so this one was done by an African-American lady by Sidney James. Everybody knows Sidney James if you're in the art game. This one was done by a guy named Wahid. Wahid is from Sudan. And I asked him, I said, your work is just phenomenal. Why don't you be our resident muralist? He said, hey, I'm game. As long as you pay me, I'll be your man. So we plan on putting up more murals. In fact, speaking of these murals, this mural here was so popular with Inkster residents that we managed to pass a mural ordinance. Now, there's never been a mural ordinance in the city of Inkster. But because we took the initiative to put a mural up and people from all around the region was giving rave reviews about it, the city decided to put a mural ordinance through our leadership, the GABA leadership. So what's GABA done in Inkster? We help African families move in the city since we've been existing, reinforced existing African businesses who needed our help, ensured our community voice, that's not vice, voice was heard 100%. I don't have any vices. developed business incentives into microfinancing to core business owners. We've given over 175 tours from African investors who wants to do business in Inkster. Every day, every week, someone wants to take a tour. Mr. Akinyemi, are you available? I'm like, Jesus. Yes, I'm available, because you never know who may bite. So I keep it going. And we did a pilot, oh, this is a big one, a pilot housing program for international students from Africa. Now that's important. I work in a community college, so oftentimes a lot of students from Nigeria, Senegal, Togo, they come to my office and say, I don't have a place to stay. So my aunt, who lives in Inkster, said, hey, look, I'm gonna rent out a house, get me some international students, and we can see if this program works. And we did that for the last couple of years. We're looking to scale that up, actually. Oh, this is a big one. Introducing KG African American Grill to the Inkster community. That's a Senegalese restaurant. Now, how this fell in my lap, I didn't court them. I'm gonna show you how this works. I didn't court them. They're actually in the next city, in Garden City, but you know, anybody's from that Inkster, everybody know about Inkster. I know you know about this. You know, Cherry Hill, there's Inkster and Garden, they're on the Garden City side of Cherry Hill. And so they were brand new. I found them on Facebook from a friend. I went to go visit the owners. The owner said, I need help with promoting our restaurant. So I brought them in front of a city council meeting, introduced them to the community just supports KG. And KG will tell you, and the owners will tell you, it's because of GABA, our business has increased about 150%. That's what we do.
You doing all of these things.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be participating in the Festival of the Arts?
We'll talk afterwards.
No, you talk right now.
He's an elect, he's from...
I know. Now this is important also. A lot of people think I'm a politician. I try to stay away from that stuff. Don't mind her. That's one of my folks from back in the day, from Michigan. So this is important though. Let me explain what's going on here. So there is an election going on in Inkster. We have a couple of people who are running for mayor that's adopted the GABA plan that they're running on, which is very powerful. The incumbent mayor, of course, that's another story. We'll be here all day and we got to eat lunch. But the reason I pointed her out, Legina Washington, the reason why she's important in GABA is because she's Trinidadian and she's running for, this is her first time running, and she has adopted our platform 100% to talk to residents about how to transform Inkster. So I'm her mentor, and she's taken our platform, ran with it 100%. I managed to get the Caribbean community involved and get some Africans involved on her campaign to really move this process forward. The reason, our primary is August 6th, that's Tuesday. We're trying to get her across the primaries into the general election. But I want to tell, what I'm trying to share with you guys is our platform is so powerful that even people who are not members of GABA, they adopt it because they trust our leadership. And that's what I want to share with you. There are two ecosystems in GABA to support local communities. So there's a US-Africa business focus and a community development focus. Now I'm gonna tell you why there are two focuses like this. Because there are some people in GABA that really, really want to do things in Africa. So they focus on the EB-5 investor visa piece, the opportunity zones, the blue economy, like you're dealing with the oceans, smart cities, which we're in discussions with Seat Pleasant, Maryland. Cyber education, one of our board members runs a cyber education program. She has 300 students lined up in Lagos as we speak, okay? And global supply chain management. So we have members who really want to do this. Then we have members who say, you know what? I really want to focus on the local stuff, and that's cool. So they deal with the community development, the financial institutions, the small business support, the cultural arts, creative economy, community engagements, faith-based networks like my faith-based partner in my faith-based coordinator in New York, and refugee resettlement, That's all part of the community development. So even though we're one team, everybody have their different functions and it works perfectly. So what's the future of Inkster? We're aggressively courting both domestic and foreign investors to do business in that opportunity zone. That's right there on the north side of Inkster. It's opportunity zone in so many words, a tax shelter. That's what it is. South of Michigan Avenue, which is here, US 12, is a TE area for EB5 investors. TEA, that's targeted employment area, so for EB5 investors. So there are some key projects that we are courting investors right now and just talking to them right now as I'm in this room about doing housing, about doing some subdivisions and things of that nature. And we personally have zoned off this green area here on the south side of Inkster as a proposed international district. What we want to do is start doing population density and moving our community into one area for redevelopment purposes. So we started that process already. You can't see this blue line here. That blue line is called Harrison Road. Harrison Road is in the master plan, but nobody in the city want to touch Harrison Road in terms of development. So we're taking it upon ourselves to start property acquisition to move that process forward. Key industries to court in Inkster. This is for anybody in here who wants to buy Inkster for $1. I'm just joking. Fintech services, agribusiness, cybersecurity, advanced manufacturing, mobility. See, that's why we got to talk. Co-op grocery stores. Oh yeah, we will, trust me. Co-op grocery stores. There's one grocery store in Inkster. When you go on the south of Michigan Avenue, there are no grocery stores, no pharmacies, no farmers markets, nothing. There are human beings that still live on that side of town with no amenities. Education. We lost our school district. Okay? Pharmaceutical. Whether that's a pharmaceutical company or pharmacies, we will take it all. Allied health services. There's no dentist office in Inkster. There's no in the US. Can you believe that? Construction management and creative arts. Those are key industries we look for. So if you're interested, I'll be here till 4 o'clock, I think, or 5, I don't know. But I gotta be honest with you, Inkster is not GABA's final stop. It's just the testing ground to see if we can get the job done. And we are getting the job done. But we're looking at expanding into Romulus, which is next door. Now that's where the airport is located, in Romulus, in Ypsilanti, Michigan. We do have a strategic plan underway to connect with various Chamber of Commerces and local communities like Pontiac, Michigan and Highland Park, Michigan. The purpose of working with these Chamber of Commerces is to help them understand the importance of doing business in Africa. I'm telling you this right now, they are ready to go. If I can get Chamber of Commerces, instead of going to the state government per se, and kind of, instead of me fighting them sometimes, and go straight to the Chamber of Commerces and we kind of work collectively and then do trade missions and things, they're very open for that. And that's a strategy that we plan on using. Here's our marching orders. This is just in part. This is the clean version. I'm just messing with y'all. The cyber education component is moving forward, like I said, in Nigeria. We're trying to establish a cyber education program in Pemba Island in Zanzibar. We're working on that now. One Voice Reception in DC, One Voice Reception, that's a reception we throw every year at the Congressional Black Caucus. Everybody in this room is invited if you're in DC. That's September 12th. The purpose of that reception is to honor our lawmakers who are working in the African diaspora. It's the only type of reception of its kind at that CBC conference. I told you about the customer service seminar, the Blue Party. Now the Blue Party is not just any party, it's a fundraiser to raise money. We have a social entrepreneurship arm in GABA called Go Blue for Clean Water. And so that's my global ambassador she lives in Houston, but she works in Cameroon. And that's her NGO that's doing water projects there. So we raise money for them every year. Working on expanding Afrocentric TV. Afrocentric TV is one of our media partners from Houston. We want to bring them to Detroit. I talked a little bit about the Opportunity Zone and EB5. And basically educating policymakers on why it's important to engage the continent of Africa to support local communities in their district. That's a big one. That's a big one. You'd be surprised how many people I talked to in the Michigan Black Caucus, Black Legislative Caucus, and they have no idea what I'm talking about. But we can change that. We're going to change that narrative because this is why we're here today. Thank you for your support.